And welcome back to part 2 of the Sports Drift GS1001 upgrades. So in the last video we did the differential gears in the front and the rear. And so today we'll be replacing stock shocks, these nice oil filled ones, replacing the stock speed controller and receiver with this speed controller and this receiver. And the radio for the receiver is the RC4GS, even though the receiver itself is for the RF6FG, it does work with the RC4GF. Pretty sure. I've got to figure out how to bind it though, because I don't remember how to do that. But that won't be a problem. And lastly, we'll be replacing the servo. Alright, well, let's just get started. I have already put some oil in the shocks. At first I put some 800 CST in them, and that felt a little bit light. So I have gone to some 1000 CST. It seems a little bit better, although it's still not perfect. It should do for now. As you can see on the two stock shocks that were in there, both of the caps on the bottoms here have fallen down, which makes them all loosey. But we don't need them anymore. Oh, so these are the exact right length and whatnot. I'll have all the parts in the description below. Alright, let's get these shocks installed, and then we can get on to the electronics. This will be quite an easy part here. I think we'll just do this on fast forwards. There we go. Got the shocks into the rear installed. That's definitely a bit of an improvement. Right, we got the stock servo out. And the one we are replacing it with is a digital one. If I can get it out of the bag here. Turnigy. I've had this servo for a few years. It's just sat on my shelf. I haven't really used it. I guess we'll be using it now. And it seems to be just the right size. I actually wasn't sure if I was going to have a servo that would fit until I remembered I had this one. It's maybe a tiny bit slimmer, but hardly. So it should fit in there quite well. Alright, let's get that set up. I think I'm going to have to drill out these holes slightly just so these will fit in there. As you can see, it doesn't want to right now. And there we go. Nice and snug on both sides. Perfect. So when trying to figure out where to mount the speed controller, I don't really want to have it sitting up here as that makes it quite high in the vehicle. So I think I might cut this tab off right here. And then I should be able to mount the speed controller onto this plate here and probably have room for the radio in the middle. There we go. Perfect. Got that little tab off. Should give me room to mount the speed controller there. Alright, let's get that plate fastened back down. So my memory card just actually filled up, so I've gone and cleared it out. So let's get back to doing this. So I think I had just cut this off, this tab, and we'll be placing the speed controller right there. Seems to fit fairly well. So as you can see, I've pulled off this one side panel, and you can see how it attaches to the chassis right on the bottom here. So I'm going to unscrew this little piece, stick it where it attaches to the chassis, and see if the speed controller will be able to sit around it. Oh, I'm hoping that should work. And the speed controller just fits. Pretty close, but it doesn't actually get in the way. If that speed controller had to go any lower, it would hit this. That's perfect. There we go. Perfect. There, you can see the clearance a little better now. Just fits. Alright, so I got the majority of everything all buttoned up. Wiring still looks a little bit messy. I don't really mind. I did end up taking the on-off switch off on the AC and just soldered the ends together so it'll just be permanently on. As you can see, I've got a little bit of wire management going on here, although it's not too great, but once the radio goes, or once the body goes on top, it should be good. And I'm going to need to make an extension for the battery, but that's not a big deal. My radio just told me it's on low power because I forgot to turn it off at one point. Let's just give this a quick test here, see if everything works. Servo works well. A little noisy though, as you can hear. Good old digital servos continuing to chatter away. This thing's telling me low power now, obviously, but well, the diffs seem to be working pretty good. That's good. Let's turn that beeping off. Alright, well, everything electronic seems to be working pretty well. I'm not going to make the extension for the battery leads as that's kind of boring. I think everything is basically done on this. I hope you guys enjoyed this upgrading of the electronics and the rear suspension. If you have any questions or comments or suggestions, make sure to leave them below. If you'd like to see more of this type of comment, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.